section 1 and we are about to check out the third video of this section. So in this video we will check out how to create our first application in Flutter that says Hello Flutter. So here this is my Android Studio up and running, which we installed in the previous video. So let us start creating our first Flutter project. Select the Flutter application, click on Next. Give your project name as Flutter_app. Now the rule for naming application is lowercase with underscore. Using any other convention will result in error. Then you have to provide the Flutter SDK path which we downloaded in the previous video. So make sure you provide the path to your Flutter SDK using the 3-dot icon. Next, decide your project location. And finally, provide a description to your application. It is optional and totally up to your choice. Click on Next. Now here you have to provide the company domain name. That is your website name. Because your ultimate goal is to provide a package name which is unique in the whole world. Just because your website name is unique, so ultimately your package name will be unique here as well. Well, in future, this application package name will behave as your application URL. So of course, it needs to be unique. So right now I am using smartheart.com. I recommend you to use the same domain name so that we both are on the same page and it will be easy for you to follow along with the course. So ultimately your package name should be com.smartheart.flutterapplication. If it is not same in your case, then simply edit it and type it like this. Once you are done, hit on finish. And while creating your first application, make sure you are connected to internet. It might take a while to create your first application. Be patient, sit back and relax. So once your application is created, you will find this main.dart file in front of you, which is present within your library folder. And before you start, make sure you are working under the project view. Well, double check it if you are working under this project view or not. Now within the test folder, we have one more file, widgettest.dart. For now, let us delete it. Within your main.dart, this is the file where we will write our code. So right now we have some boilerplate code. Let us remove all of these code and try to write our first application from scratch so as to have a better understanding what's going on. So firstly, you have to import your material.dart package. Well, this is a library which contains all the material widgets. So this package contains the widgets which implements the material design. Now you might ask, what is material design? Well, material design is a design language developed by Google, and it simply defines some guidelines for all the applications such as Android application, iOS application, and even the websites to follow. So within our Dart application, we are going to use the widgets that will follow material design guidelines. Next, we have to declare the main method. Well, this main method is the entry point of our application. So whatever code that we will write within this method will be executed. So within this method, we have to define our runApp method. Now the purpose of this method is to inflate the widget and attach it to the screen. Well, it basically means runApp method will show whatever we pass in as a parameter. For example, we can use a widget known as the text widget that simply expects the first parameter as the data that you want to display on the screen. Hello Flutter in our case. Now as a second parameter, we have to pass the text direction. So for that, just you have to type text direction and it will show you the hint what exactly you want to use. So let us select this one, and after colon you have to pass in text direction dot LTR. LTR stands for left to right. Now the languages such as English, Spanish are actually left to right, and the languages such as Urdu are actually right to left. So in case of Urdu, we will write here RTL, right to left. But right now let us use LTR since we are using the English language. Perfect. Now end the statement with the help of semicolon. Now you might think, within this widget of text, how can we know what exactly we have to pass as a parameter? So for that, simply press Ctrl or Command in case of Mac and click on this text widget. It will take you to the documentation. Now here if you notice, it expects the first parameter as the data, which we have passed as the text of Hello Flutter. Now the first parameter is mandatory. Now from the second parameter, if you notice, we have the curly bracket open and close, which means they are all optional named parameters. So even if you don't pass it, it will work fine. But if you pass it, then you have to follow some guidelines. You have to use the property name such as text direction in our case, such as here text direction, then give a colon followed by its value. Well, here we are using bit of Dart programming, and I have already covered the concept of named parameters in my Dart programming series. So let us try to run our application. So for that we have to create an emulator. Go to the AVD, and from there, if you don't have any device, then simply click on create a virtual device. Select phone, and right now I will select Pixel 2. Click on next, and then under the recommended tab you have to select an emulator. Right now I will select Android Oreo API 26. You can go for API 27 or 28 as well. It is totally up to your choice. Once you download it, click on next, and then after that click on finish. Since I've already created it, so here this is my device. I will simply launch it using this icon. Once you launch your emulator, it will simply look like a real device, but virtually present in your system. So our next step will be to run this application, and make sure on the left you have your emulator selected. So there we go, our application is up and running, and we have created a very weird application which has hello world written on the top. If you notice here, I can hardly see our text widget. So let us do one thing, let us try to shift our hello Flutter onto the center of the screen. So for that what we can do, we can use a new widget known as the center widget that will make our text to be placed in the center of the screen. So right now let us format our code, give it a new line, and then again give a new line to the text parameters as well, like this. Well, this is the code format that we are going to follow throughout the course. And now I will wrap this text with the help of the center widget. So for that I will use center, and as a parameter first I will define its child widget. And now put this text as a child of this center. And again give a new line so as to format our code. And if you ever feel confused about your code, then these hints will actually help you to know this bracket belongs to which widget. Well, this ending bracket belongs to the text widget, and this ending bracket belongs to the center widget. So center is the outer widget, and within the center we have a child as text placed in the center of this widget. Right? Launch the application. We have successfully placed our text in the center of the screen. By just using two widgets, we have created our first application. Well, this application looks pretty ugly, isn't it? And I know we can create much better application than this. So in the next video, we will continue our discussion. But before I end this video, let me show you something. Here in your editor, if you notice, I have the line numbers. You might not have it. So couple of changes I would like to do in the settings of this IDE. If you are on Mac, then go to Android Studio and click on Preferences. And if you are on Windows, then you will find File and then Settings option. Since I am using Mac, so I will go for Preferences. Then go to System Settings. There you will find this checkbox. So make sure you uncheck it. And then in the search bar, look for the line numbers. Then go to Appearance, and there you will find this menu option, Show Line Numbers. Make sure it is checked. And also if you want, you can also check this checkbox, Show Method Separators. Once you are done, click on Apply and then OK. I have already done it. Now for each of the video, I will push the code to the GitHub. So the source code of this video you will find in this GitHub page. The link to this page you will find in the description below the video. Currently the branch is master. So switch to #1.3, that is section 1 video 3, which is the current video number. Once you select it, you will get the source code of the current video. Similarly, for the next video, the source code will be present in #1.4. Perfect. That is section 1 video 4.